I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's not going to be very often that I talk about college sports, and it's going to be even less often that I talk about anything political on this channel. But as a fan of college sports, I feel like I should talk about this particular thing. So for those of you guys who didn't hear, a bill was introduced today that would grant a lot of rights to student athletes who participated in the NCAA. It's called the College Athletes Bill of Rights, and it was introduced by 4 Democratic lawmakers: Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, and Representative James Schakowsky of Illinois. Now, through this bill, college athletes would be able to earn revenue for their likeness. Schools would be required to share 50% of their profit with their revenue-generating sports like football and basketball. It would create enforceable health and safety standards developed by the Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It would also establish a medical trust fund that athletes could access for 5 years after leaving school, and it would guarantee college athletes scholarships for as many years as it takes for them to receive an undergraduate degree, and it would ban coaches and staff from having any influence on their academic choices, such as their majors and the courses that they decide to pick up. It also removes restrictions on athletes who transfer from one school to another and penalties for breaking a national letter of intent, and it also allows athletes to return to school after entering a draft within 7 days of that draft, meaning NFL players would be able to even go through the combine and then be able to pull out of the draft 7 days before the draft. Lastly, it would require athletic departments to annually disclose revenues and expenditures, including salaries of department personnel. This is all per Ralph D. Russo of the Associated Press, and honestly, it has been a long time coming. There's been a long conversation about compensating college athletes for their time and their effort, especially in football, which is a vicious sport and it does damage to you for a long time. And a lot of these athletes end up not being able to afford all the medical bills that they're getting because of their injuries in college, and they don't make it to the NFL or even the Canadian Football League. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's just good that this conversation is finally happening. Finally, people with actual power have stepped up for these student athletes, and we can debate all day whether or not student athletes deserve to get paid or anything like that. But the truth of the matter is this bill was a long time coming. Now, obviously, the NCAA is probably going to put up a fight, and maybe not everything on this bill is going to pass through as is. Maybe it's not even going to pass through at all the first time. Maybe it gets vetoed and it has to be rewritten, it has to be revised. Maybe it takes years. Maybe it's not going to happen this year. Maybe it won't happen in 5 years. But at very least, this starts a much needed conversation. And I'm glad that this bill has been written. I'm glad somebody is listening to these student athletes. And I guess we will see where things go from here. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this bill. Do you think it's going to pass through the first time? How long do you think it's going to take for this to go through? Let me know in the comment section. And hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. And we're going to keep it rolling here. It's been Kaz Cray. Want to see more from the channel? Check out the playlists and the videos in front of you.
I've been suffering in silence, and they paid me no mind. I've been stuck inside the shadows for a really long time. It feels like they forgot about me. Well, I'm here to remind you that the world is gonna hear me when it's my time to shine.